everybody, it's Lauren from RV's Very Own Society, and welcome to Tyrant's legendary walkthrough of Halo Wars. Now today's mission is Reactor. So like always, please don't forget, rate, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, y'all.
Is this really going to work, Professor?
I believe this is our best hope. The overloaded FTL reactor will cause a chain reaction in the sun.
Enough to destroy all the ships here before the Covenant can get a chance to make anything from them.
Well, put simply, Captain, our reactor will cause the sun to go supernova, leaving nothing here but dust.
That's the weak part of this plan, if you ask me. We've no way home without that reactor.
One problem at a time, Serena. If the Covenant get their hands on these ships, it will mean the end of the war. We'll take our chances here to give humanity some hope.
I know it's been a tough call, Captain. But it's the right one.
Spirit of Fire, this is Forge. She's buttoned up and ready to go.
Deliver that package safely, Sergeant.
Keep the coffee hot. We'll be back before you know it.
I'll be monitoring you from here, Sergeant.
Well, it'll be pretty obvious if he succeeds.
This is Victor 397. Stabilizers out. We can't carry her. Going down. Clear the area. We are dropping cargo.
I don't want to take any more chances flying that core in. We're changing this to a ground operation.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Tyrant's legendary walkthrough for Halo Wars. Today we're doing mission 14 entitled Reactor. This is the second to last mission of the game. And we started here with a fairly nice sized base. Well, small sized base, but still close enough. It's better than what we had the last mission where we had to build our own from scratch. We start out with 3 of the Spartans plus Sergeant Forge. I'd recommend going ahead and gathering the supplies.
Supply pad complete.
There we go. Go ahead and build pretty much all supply pads and reactors at this point. We will be building at least one. Oh shoot, what's the vehicle factory called? Whatever it is. That, as well as a field armory as well.
Supply pad complete.
I think I just used the same phrase in the same sentence twice. Oh, there, I did it again. Now, right away, you don't have to deal with any major assaults like you did with the last mission. My advice to this extent, because of that, is to keep the Wolverines, which are anti-air units, here guarding the reactor, while you send your Spartans and Sergeant Forge up towards the first Covenant base.
Supply pad complete.
Now, as far as I can tell, there's no external reactors or supply pads that you can use like you did in the last mission. So, sorry about that, but that does mean you will have to start building things on your own. Now, I've found that if you assault the first Covenant base just little by little, it does prevent them from sending major hardcore units at you. Turtling in this mission is not recommended.
Let's roll. Let's go.
So as soon as you see these guys right here, start going back just a little bit. Let them know you're there. Sometimes they'll follow you, sometimes they won't. But if they do, it's not going to be very many at a time. Your Spartans and Forge, especially as long as he's in the Gauss Hog, are very powerful. They can take out these guys. So you want to keep Sergeant Forge in the Gauss Hog as long as possible. Keep in mind that once he's down, yes, he can be resurrected just like the Spartans can, but he will not be in the Gauss Hog.
Turret improved.
So we're going to upgrade these guys right here. Keep the money coming in. You really don't need more than 3 reactors, as far as I can tell, or I should say 3 reactor points. But I usually go ahead and do all 4 just to be on the safe side, because you will never need more than 4. So we're going to start taking out these guys right here. Now again, if you wait and turtle in, the attacks are going to be on your base and they're going to be far more intense. If you do it now, it's not going to be quite so bad. You'll be able to get a second base a lot quicker and establish your foothold. 2 bases are always better than 1. Use that recharge ability as much as you can on these guys. You will need them.
Vehicle depot complete.
Now I will say that typically when your base is attacked, at this point in time it's going to be flood. And from what I can tell, it's usually the flood flocks, as I usually call them. So my advice to you is to get the turrets up and running, at least 2 of them, and make sure they have anti-air capabilities.
I'll do it. I'm going. On the target. I'll do it. Attacking.
Now you want to make sure that your units are focused on 1 major unit at a time. When they start taking heavy damage, just go ahead and draw back a little bit. We did this a little bit in mission 1. It was sort of a yo-yo tactic, as I call it. Now your Wolverines are capable of attacking ground units, but do not rely on them for that. The main reason for you keeping your Wolverines there and alive is to take out any flood, any aerial flood, who come at your area. And this goes in addition with the turrets. The more you have guarding your base, the better in those terms, so that you can send more of your offensive units doing what they should be doing rather than trying to defend your base.
Easily done. No problem. You got it.
As you can see, we had no casualties there. That was the first major wave of Covenant that you're going to have to worry about. Keep them close to the enemy base. Sergeant Forge is the only one who can't recharge here, so keep your eyes on him big time. When you see him running low, drag him back a little bit, and then once everything's annihilated, go ahead and recharge him along with the other Spartans.
Begin healing targets.
Just like that.
Send us in.
Reactor improved.
Now the last mission, our main thing was Vulcans, and this one it's going to be Scorpion tanks. So you do not need to concentrate on air pads, and Scorpion tanks also require a lot less population count to build. You have 2 major upgrades, as you know, with Scorpion tanks. One is the canister upgrade, the other is the barrel upgrade. Both are very valuable. You do want to focus on those once you do get your supply count up. But you do want to keep fighting these guys. Make sure that the Covenant in this particular base do not build up a large army. It's very easy with the units you have to deal with these guys. I think one of our Scorpions just got destroyed, so yeah, screw you, Covenant. I had another word in mind, but my younger viewers are also watching.
Enemy engagement.
The core is taking damage.
Uh-oh.
On the way.
Now these are the flood guys I was telling you about, the flocks from before. Again, between the Wolverines and your turrets, you should not have much to worry about here, so I wouldn't focus too much.
I'll get it.
That does remind me, as you can see here, we also have vampires to worry about in this mission. And no, not the blade kind. These are the ones with needles. I don't know how they got the term vampires, I guess from the needles. I'm not really sure. Went ahead and captured one just for the heck of it. So now we have a little bit of anti-air as well.
Local units.
Got it.
So again, we're going to keep trying to keep the Covenant at bay
Local units.
until we can finally take that base. Again, you do want to keep your Wolverines alive here because they'll keep your Reactor alive. Keep a close eye on your turrets as well, but it shouldn't overall be too much of a problem. So Forge is a little under 50% health. It's about time to recharge him again. I do not want to send him into battle at this point because he's going to die. Your primary opposition here is going to be Wraiths. They will send out some Hunters. You will occasionally some Bomber forms. Oh, there's one now. And those, of course, Flood based. The Flood seem to sort of taper off as the game goes on. After the mission, quote unquote, the Flood.
Yes. I'm on it.
So it's mostly Covenant based here. Your Spartans are extremely useful. As you saw in the last mission, your Spartans can easily hijack enemy vehicles. If you feel that you're low on some firepower, it doesn't hurt if your base is constantly assaulted by tanks. Now, in this case, that I would recommend keeping your Spartans on the ground as much as possible, with the exception of our one that we have in the Vampire, which he's not going to last very long, but it does serve as a nice distraction. So right now we're trying to basically take our guys and corner the Covenant in the major base that we're going up against right now.
The core is taking damage.
Oh, Jesus. Mary and Joseph. Okay, I do not see it taking any damage, so our anti-air units seem to have done pretty well. We're going to move our Scorpions up here. Try to advance as much as possible. So your goal here is to move the reactor to what they call the Alpha base. There are few Covenant bases in the way, but if you can capture this one, it does go a lot easier. So I'm focusing my repair right now, as you can see on Sergeant Forge. He's the only one who really can't recharge. I don't really care that much about the Scorpions. Sorry, Marines, it's true. But you can always build more of those. But once Sergeant Forge is out of that Gauss Hog, you will not get it back. And it is very valuable to have him there in this particular mission.
Local units.
So right now what I'm trying to do is just conserve my units as much as possible. That didn't work.
Local units.
Because my next move is to assault this base, destroy it, and build a secondary UNSC base.
Local units.
As good as dead.
So now we're just going to go for it. I've got spare MAC rounds, so let's just do it. Alright, so we took a nice heavy hit there. This one is not that heavily defended, especially if you've been doing what I've been saying all along, and just making sure that your units are keeping theirs at a minimum.
Local units.
I got him.
Local units.
I see it.
Just make sure you're focused on that core right there. Whenever you have a MAC round available, take it. Your Spartans may go down in this. If you lose all of them, yeah, you probably aren't going to win this. But if you just lose one, you should be okay. Keep in mind, they do recover when you move someone else on your team close to them after they reach the halfway point in recharging. So the first Covenant base is down. That means we have a secondary base that's going to be available to us in a few seconds. Let's go ahead and eliminate all the opposition in the area. Not too hard at this point. And now we can resurrect our Spartans, as well as build a secondary base. There we go.
Spartan is back up.
So far we're doing pretty well. This extra base gives us more supplies. You should not need more reactors at this point, unless you want redundancy. I will probably move my vehicle depot up there just so it's closer to the final objective. But that's about it. Basically, you want to concentrate on your vehicle depot and make sure your field armory is where you want it to be. I would recommend not only upgrading the population, but the turrets as well, just to make sure that your home base, where the reactor currently is okay. Once you are confident that you are secure, go ahead and build an elephant in your primary base to link up with the reactor so you can start dragging it to where it needs to be.
More resources.
I will tell you right now, there are scarabs in this mission, so be careful.
Go from there. We're ready. Rolling out. I'm there.
So the vampires are attacking again. I don't know why they're only sitting a pair, considering that we have an entire base established. Again, you want to focus mainly on supply pads and just adding a vehicle depot here, just so that you have constant income. You don't have to worry about that, and your vehicle depot is closer so you can deploy tanks faster if you need to. So our elephant is ready. If he can get around the Wolverines. Maybe, possibly.
Supply pad.
And we got some S&M action here, apparently. So, alright. Elephant is linked up. Now we can finally move the core up to our secondary base, much closer to our final objective. As you can see, it's right there on the opposite side of the screen, over there on the right-hand side. There is quite a bit of opposition between the left and right-hand side, so just keep that in mind. Don't just try to free the beast and send him over there.
It's not going to be pretty.
Supply pad complete.
Well, yes, losing is never pretty, so thank you, Serena.
Once the core reaches a flat area, it will no longer be in
And
danger
I
of
think I
rolling back
accidentally
down the hill.
got my
Get the
Wolverines
core
over
to level
there.
ground, and do try
But
to avoid any unnecessary jostling.
actually, in this case, probably be a good thing, because it'll have some anti-air protecting it. Now that it's on the move, you really don't need your Wolverines at the home base anymore. But until you're ready to advance forward, I would recommend putting turrets on your secondary base and making sure that they're equipped with anti-air
Fortress
technology.
upgrade complete. Turret
And if you can
improved.
upgrade your turrets, it's even better.
Turret improved.
The longer they live, the better off you are. So right now, what we're trying to do is get as many Scorpions as we can. I'd recommend putting your Spartans in the Scorpions just to make sure that the Scorpions are stronger. They do withstand a lot more damage with your Spartans in them. And at this point, we're going to be advancing forward. I'm not really that concerned about building more bases, just making sure that Reactor gets to the final objective. Okay, so we're going to upgrade the
Enemy engagement.
tanks one more time. And again, focus mainly on building Scorpions, as well as supply pads and upgrading those as well. So you have no issue here. We just got our population upgraded so we can really lay it down on the Covenant at this point. And no, in not that kind of way. We just want to make sure we have plenty of supplies, just in case things go south. We can rebuild a lot quicker.
More resources required. Supply pad upgraded.
Okay, so our final objective is right around there.
Turret complete.
Should probably start moving forward right about now.
Rolling.
Just make sure that your tanks are keeping a nice barrier between the Covenant and your Reactor.
Supply pad complete.
Scorpion rolling out.
Enemy engagement.
You can probably start moving forward at this point. Looks like the Covenant and the Flood are both attacking us. Use everything you've got against those Hunter units. They are pretty devastating. And no, they are not based off of the Covenant Hunters. They are their own entity. I don't know if they came from another life form or if the Flood created them, similar to the Crawlers in Halo 3, but yeah.
Regeneration ready. Healing target.
So always make sure you have your regeneration intact, especially for the Reactor. That thing you do have to keep alive, otherwise the mission is over.
All units.
Let's ride.
So we're going to start advancing forward now. Keep your units tightly together. You are going to run into a Scarab at some point as well. So just keep that in mind. Take it slow.
On the target.
Keep your Reactor in the back. There's a fair amount of opposition between here and the final objective.
Rolling out.
This is exactly why I wanted to make sure that you kept Sergeant Forge alive. His Gauss gun is extremely powerful. Very useful in this mission. Your anti-air unit's going to handle the flood, any banshees. Trust me, it's worth it. Keep building scorpions. Like I said, just to be on the safe side. You never know what's going to happen. Even though our force here is pretty strong and pretty robust, especially with the Spartans manning the scorpion tanks, you never know what's going to go down. So just, again, be on the safe side. Our tanks are now fully upgraded. There is nothing stopping us between now and the final objective. And wait a minute, I didn't think the flood could infect grunts. I guess they can. Well, at least in Halo Wars lore. So we're just taking this bit by bit. Make sure that all of your units are focused on one at a time. Don't leave them hanging too long. Sergeant Forge is still doing great.
Let's move. Let's get it. On the target. I'm on it. Let's get it. I'm going in.
All units.
On the way. Running them over.
Alright, so fortunately they do kind of steer you to where you need to go. You would think you'd have to go straight across. Apparently that's not the case. But yeah, keep building more scorpions. You don't know if you're going to need them or not. You are eliminating the opposition between here and there, so if you do need spare scorpions, they can get to you pretty quickly without having to worry about anything trying to stop them.
Rolling out. On the way.
I'm trying to take it a little bit by bit. I don't want to try to send them all there at one time, because, again, you could be cornered pretty easily here. You've got two factions against you. Do not underestimate anything that you come across.
Let's ride. I'm going.
Alright, so it looks like we're coming up on the second Covenant base. Yep, I can tell because we got Locust to deal with. And there it is. This one's a little bit more upgraded than the last one. It has shields. Take it out. As soon as you do, make sure you put your own base on top of it so it will not rebuild. Even though you really can't take advantage of a third base, it does make it pretty useful not to have the Covenant constantly on top of you.
All units.
On the move.
So at this point, I'm going to start selecting all units just to make sure that my tanks are always reinforcing each other. Get these guys out quickly. The Locust, they are building killers, but they're also pretty good at taking out Scorpions. They're also very weak themselves, so when you have a massive Scorpion tanks, they really can't do much.
Engagement.
Alright, so I'm waiting for our Scorpions to come forward. Alright, I think we have a pretty clean shot. Take this base out as quickly as you can. This is the, I believe, the last major opposition, aside from a few Covenant stragglers, between here and the final objective.
All units.
So I'm going to give this thing everything I've got. Base is down. No casualties as far as I can see, because we're still at maximum population. So we're still good. Check your units, make sure they don't need any repairs, but also stick around so you can build that tertiary base right there so that the Covenant... Oh, there's the Scarab. I was waiting for this guy. Give it everything you've got. Fortunately, he's going to be a little bit chicken here because he's taking so much firepower from your Scorpion force. Don't be surprised if you lose a unit or two here, but keep it away from your reactor. Yeah, I can see that, Serena. Thank you. And the Scarab is down. Take this time to repair your units. Your base should be about ready at this point.
All units.
I'm just kind of checking out things here. Oh, they're already trying to set up another one. Alright, so let's go ahead and build our tertiary base right here. That way they can't set up another one, eliminating the opposition. And now it's basically just one mad charge to the alpha site, so we can get that reactor there. Poor Ray didn't stand a chance. I would like to try to keep that guy alive just a little bit longer because the Spartan is inside of it. Even though I could easily get him in another Scorpion tank. Gotta honor the Spartans. Keep in mind, Spartans never die. They only go missing in action. So our force is getting pretty large at this point. We're almost at the finish line. Go ahead and keep building supply pads.
All units.
I'd also recommend turrets as well. I mean, we're pretty well in the green as far as supplies are concerned, so it doesn't hurt. If you don't want to do that, you don't have to. If you want to save your supplies for more Scorpions just in case things go south here, that's perfectly okay too. You really don't need that tertiary base other than just to make sure the Covenant don't build another one. This is the final Covenant base here. And since we've already pretty much wiped out most of the opposition, all you got to do is make sure the fog of war is off and then just lay waste to this thing. Give it everything you've got. It's the one thing standing between you and the finish line. You are far stronger than these guys at this point. There is no reason why you can't take this down. Final base is down for the count. Now you've got a clean getaway to the alpha site so you can get that reactor there and finish this mission. At this point, ignore your other bases, just go for the goal. Do what you have to, trust me. The Covenant can't take out 3 bases in a matter of minutes. I'm doing this just to be safe. There we go. Alright, everybody. Do your thing. Make sure the Covenant cannot touch your reactor. Remember, always protect your assets. So we've got our massive force going towards this alpha site right here. This apex base, as they call it.
The core is taking damage.
And that doesn't matter.
Complete.
And the mission is complete. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Tyrant's Halo Wars Legendary Guide. This is mission 14, second to last mission. If you guys like this video, please rate, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, I'm the Tyrant, signing off.